And, resentment for me is not to just get angry, but to stay angry and to justify it in my thinking. Look what they did and what they still do, right? So how do I unjustify it? Accept people as they are. I started by asking, when did I act that way? And realizing that maybe they need God as bad as I do. Learning to pray for people and not to pray for their demise, but learning to pray for people, it's been pretty helpful for me. After 5 or 6, 7 times for the same person, it seems to deviate. But what if I'm right and it's just a bad person? Is it okay then? I had a girl steal $1,200 from my business, and she knew that I knew she took it. And I called her, and I let her have it, man, for about 5 minutes trying to get my money, and I wasn't going to get it. I went and prayed for her, and 2 days later, I made 3 times that amount of money. Just hand it to me. And folks, I'm telling you, this works. God's there, he's listening. And what I didn't remember when I was calling and talking to her was that I stole $900 out of a safe from a place I worked at when they didn't know I had the combination. And then I went back over there to make my amends, and they told me, we're not going to throw you in jail. Go speak at our halfway house instead. See, I didn't remember that part when I was calling to yell at her. I didn't realize when did I act that way. It was real easy to hate on her because I wanted to take her out and tie her up. $1,200 is a lot of money to me. Some people, maybe it's not. But, and when I got here, AA folks didn't treat me like everyone else. They took from our book, which says to be helpful is our only aim. Perhaps these people were spiritually sick. Love and tolerance of others is our code, and to not be glum while doing it. It's hard to smile when people are yelling at you and screwing you over at that person. And I've had to learn to love people from a distance, man. In most situations, honestly, in life now, I'm just a bullfighter in the ring. They're not charging me. They're charging my cape because they're not trusting God with something today. And they're acting just like I used to. And, we all have different behaviors when we act out of fear. Unfortunately for me, one of my behaviors when I act out of fear is to drink Crown Royal and use a lot of methamphetamine. That's the end of my fear and worry and anger and resentment when I don't address it. I have to have God into everything, especially anybody renting space in my head in a negative way with any consistency. I have to look at that very hard. If I made a pie chart at the end of my day, what's the biggest piece of pie for me of what I thought about the most? For me, it needs to be asking in step 11, please give me knowledge of your will for my life and the power to carry that out. That's what I try to ask for the most every day and make that my biggest piece of pie. And on page 67, it says, perhaps they, like ourselves, were sick too. We ask God to help us show people the same pity, patience, and tolerance we would cheerfully grant a sick friend. It's easy to say, and it's hard to love people from a distance, man. It can be difficult, but staying angry takes even more work. And I just looked it up. It takes 47 muscles to frown in your face and 13 to smile.